What's up, people? Orseofkorse here, coming at you with another Paragon deck build. Today, I want to take a look at my boy Twinblast. I'm running Twinblast, Chaos, and Order. I know a lot of people are running Chaos and Death for carries, and I do run Chaos and Death for some of my carries, but for Twinblast, I decided to go with Order instead of Death. So, let's go ahead and jump into it. So, up here in the early parts of the game, and here's the main reason why I went Order. I go order with my carries so that I can keep wars in my deck because I know a lot of people say you should leave it to your support and all that, but what I've noticed is that a lot of supports are not running wards. Exat, a lot of people aren't running wars at all. Doesn't matter what position they play. So I keep wars up just because carries are in the spot right now to where people aren't even picking them. And when you are picking them, you have to be farmed. You have to not get ganked up to even be relevant in the game because carries are just in a bad spot, it feels like. So I make sure that I keep that vision. I make sure that I do my best to stay alive. Now, Twinblast is a very bursty hero, so I like this Poised Aggression card. When you start a fight, you gain 15 basic damage for 4 seconds after entering combat. So I like that card because Twinblast is bursty, so that just adds to his burst damage right there. Very early game card, you can get rid of that at any point. Now, as we get down here, we pass a lot of these cards up that just aren't viable. I would like to see somebody do the Stagnant Dominion with Twinblast Ultimate, though. See if that cheese still works. But now, as we get right here, we have the Sacred Alchemy. I like this card, and this is one of the main reasons that I go order with some of my carries like Sparrow and Twinblast is for this card particularly. Because it gives you the 18 power, the 20 attack speed, the 240 health, all great stacks. But it also gives you the shielding strikes. So you gain a shield equal to 20% of the basic damage dealt. So as a carry, you're not hitting like super crazy, but you are hitting fairly hard. You can burn some people down in game. So this shield right here is tremendous on carries. This helps with survivability, and for heroes like Wukong, makes you almost invincible. Now as we get down here, I have I have the Knight of Ashar. Now this guy right here gives you 19 power, 14 attack speed, and 24 basic armor, and then you gain 25 basic damage. And the elevate effect. So if it's the only card equipped, and you increase your basic damage by 1.5 for each attribute point spent. Now this is a good card, but unless you have like a solid team like that's willing to pill for you, I don't know if I would go with this over the shielding and some other cards because I don't think it's worth it because the damage doesn't really matter if you're getting burnt down in game. So use this card wisely. If like you're playing with some buddies or something, it might be a good choice. But I think you'll come out better going with the shield and a couple of other cards on top of it. Now, right here we got the Demolitionist. Since you aren't going Death and you don't have the card that gives you the easy peasy last hits, I put Demolition in there, Demolitionist, because you deal 12 bonus damage to non-hero units and structures. Bonus damage is reduced to 8 if attacked is ranged. So basically, it gives you more damage against enemy minions, which will help you with your last hitting. So kind of supplement for not having a cheese card. Now, as we get down here, I have Profiter. You get 2,000. Well, it costs 2,400 gold, and it gives you 4 power, which is cool. But more importantly, it gives you wealthy minions. So you earn 55 bonus gold for enemy minion kills. Now that right there is awesome. That will help you get ahead very quickly. So if you can save up to 2,400 gold, this card is well worth it as long as you're playing safe and you're not getting, ganked up, which is why I run wards. Now, as we get down here, I have Nitro Boost. Even though Twinblast has an escape, I still like to run this card early because it gives you that speed boost, and the little attack speed does help as well. But this card right here, it just helps you get away, or helps you close the gap, because you dash on them, then you hit that speed boost, you're probably going to close the gap pretty quickly. So I like this card just for that reason. Good for engaging, good for escaping. Now next we have the Overclocked droid. This card gives you 7 power, 13 attack speed, and the reason I like it is for the effect Frenzy. You gain 32 attack speed and 150 move speed for 6 seconds. You take 15% additional damage while this card is active. Now, this card right here is good, but it's one of those like high risk, high rewards. Use it wisely because if you end up getting jumped on or if the person turns on you, they're going to be dealing a lot of damage to you because you're going to be taking 15% extra. Now, these cards right here, you can equip those. I mean, you can bounce between the two, Maybe you don't want nitro, so you go with the overclock droid. It's really up to you. I usually choose this one if I have the 2 vitality points. But until I get it, the 2 vitality points, I'll go ahead and settle for the nitro boost. Now, as we get down here, we have Hellfire Engine, which is an awesome card. You gain 100 basic damage. Point, just that's it. You gain 100 basic damage. Just ridiculous. Now, here's the thing. It costs 7,000 gold, and it's a combustible, meaning that once you die, the card also leaves. So if you're going to get this card, make sure that you are playing relatively safe. You're pushing or engaging, good engagements. Don't get too reckless because that's a lot of gold to waste. Next card we have the Pressure Hunter. So that card gets you 10 power, 13 attack speed, and then Giant Slayer. You deal 2 bonus damage to targets with more vitality than you. Amount is increased by vitality difference. So this card right here is great. I'll usually equip this card close to about maybe 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in. I'll drop usually Nitro Boost for it. And Hellfire Engine. This card is usually later game, but if you can save up to 7,000 gold and you think that you're going to be playing relatively safe, you can grab this card early, especially if you have Profiter on. You could get it early, but it's very risky, because that's 7,000 gold gone if you do die. Now, the next card we have here is Heavy Hitter. Heavy Hitter, I would sacrifice this card right here, Pressure Hunter, for Heavy Hitter. Let's say like um, you have Pressure Point on or Pressure Hunter on, and then you get an extra point. I would throw that away and go ahead and get Heavy Hitter because I think overall it's a better card. The 16 power, 16 attack speed, then basic damage increased by 15%, and that's awesome. That right there, great card. Make sure that this is in your build in game because it just makes your damage that much better. Now, I know some people like to put Deathcrawler with Twinblast. I decided not to go Deathcrawler. I like it with like people like Murdoch or Revenant, but I don't run it for Sparrow or Twinblast at all. Not even Grimmix. So I skipped that, and instead I went with the Shatter Golem. That's 26 power, 18 attack speed, and then basic attacks have a 20% chance to deal 100% bonus damage. I like this card because Twinblast is one of those bursty heroes, and I think having that extra crit chance, that bonus damage, just adds to that, especially because at the end game your attack speed is so fast that you're going to be critting more than you think. I know 20% is not a lot, but with the increased attack speed, it's actually not a bad card to have. So in game, if I can, I would like to have Shatter Golem, Powerful Strikes, or Heavy Hitter, sorry, and then Overclock Droid. That's usually what I end up running towards the end, and it seems to work out pretty well. Just make sure you pick the right time to engage with this card, and you usually come out okay. Now, as we take a look at the gems here, I have 1 gem in Vitality, and that's Healing Towers. I always put this card in my decks just because I like having that 2.2 health regen and 1.2 mana regen. I think that's awesome. And then lastly, we have all gems in the Agility tree. So I have improved killing blows. So you gain 5 bonus gold while killing an enemy minion. I like that. It pairs well with the Profiter card. It just gives you more incentive to get those last hits, farm up. Next we have Ruthless. You deal an additional 2% basic damage to heroes for every 10% of heroes missing health. So that right there is going to add to your burstiness, going to add to your DPS. I like that card, especially in game. You start to see yourself just shredding people down. Multi-shot, it gives you the 3.5 attack speed, and ranged basic attacks fire 2 additional projectiles, each dealing 80% basic damage. So right there, it's almost like having a little Sparrow ult at all times. You're just running around just spraying. So I like that. Easy burn down ways, attacking multiple enemies. So multi-shot, definitely over lifesteal. Piercing basics. Now, some people, they go with the one that gives you ability damage. Since most of your damage is coming from basic attacks, I decided to go with ignore 30% of enemy basic armor. I like that. Just you're doing more true damage. If you want to, though, you could also go with every 5 attacks. You'll be doing 100 extra ability damage. With the attack speed, that also works as well. This is just my preference. And lastly, I went with Relentless Pursuit. I was thinking about going with the crit one, but I like this better. 2.5 power, 20 mana regen, and then basic attacks no longer apply a combat penalty. So basically, you're just running and gunning. So people, that's what I have for Twinblast. This build seems to work pretty well for me. If you want to try Chaos Death, that is also viable. I usually run that with my Yin or my Seraph though. Definitely Yin. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. How are you building your Twinblast? And if you try out this build, let me know how it works. Uh, Also, put down, if you watch this whole video, tell me who's your favorite carry right now, because I know carries aren't like in the best place right now. A lot of people aren't really feeling carries, so let me know, are you still playing carry, and if so, who is your favorite? So people, that's it for this video. If you liked it, make sure to drop a like. It helps me out a lot. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button, become a member of the Orseofkorse today. And if you're looking for a way to support the channel, hop into a live stream, hit me with a super chat, or check the link in the description to check out my Patreon. Check out the reward tiers, and if you see something that you like, consider becoming a patron. I appreciate you watching this video. We'll be live streaming again later today, actually. Come check it out. Thanks for watching. This is Orseofkorse. Peace.